and a short time to get there. I'm westbound, just watch old bandit run. Keep your foot hard on the pedal, son, never mind them brakes. Let it all hang out, cause we gotta run to make. Whoa, it just killed, didn't it? Does that when I start the camera. Anyway, we are coming into Memphis right now, and I figured since the first time I ever crossed the Mississippi River was on that first great road trip that I ever took, the one that I've been telling you guys about. Up until that point, I had basically been on every single, like, I'd been west tons of times, Oklahoma, all that stuff. Anyway, but since we're going to cross the Mississippi here shortly, I figured now would be a good time to continue the story. I know it's been a long time coming, so we're gonna go on. Check the videos. The last place I left off was I had pissed Ian off, or Ian had pissed me off, and I had put us up in another hotel close to where we needed to go, but not quite there. So the next part of the story basically goes like this. So we got up the next morning, we were on one side or the other of a toll bridge, and I of course have no idea where I'm going. So the problem is, like, I'm trying to figure it out, and I get on the toll bridge and I tell the toll lady, you know, where we need to go, and I think she said, you need to turn around and go back. So we turned, like, she let us through, and we turned around and went back. And remember, I'm in a 26-foot U-Haul truck at this point. Make the U-turn to go back through and everything, and then, you know, went down a little ways, and that wasn't right, so went back to the toll bridge. I think we ended up going over the toll bridge eventually. And so anyway, so we drive on a little ways, and we get to the Harriman Forest in Tuxedo, New York. And driving this 26-foot U-Haul truck down this dirt road that, you know, really is probably too small for a U-Haul truck, but we get up in there, and we get settled in and everything, and my sister gets all of her stuff out, and I park the truck down the hill a little ways, and, you know, her friend's there already, and we're finally there. My sister started setting up the tent. Well, I was in the Boy Scouts, was not very good at being in the Boy Scouts, let me tell you. And I'll tell you what happened. I was so bad at being in the Boy Scouts. I was part of a troop that, a little side story, part of a troop that was supposed to pick out a name, and it took us so long to pick out a name that we were called the No Name Troop. So, I always thought that was kind of hilarious. I was terrible at being a Boy Scout, but I did learn a couple of things. So one of the things I learned was, when you set your tent up, you want to make sure to set your tent up so that it faces away from any downhill. Like if water runs downhill, if there's a hill near you, you want to set it up so your door faces away from the downhill part of the mountain or the hill that you're near. So, and this guy Ian was kind of telling my sister, like, you know, just do it this way, and you have a nice view, kind of looking out over the forest and everything like that. My sister's, you know, like, okay, well, you know, not wanting to fight with him, and I kind of understand that. So she was setting it up so that the door was kind of sideways. The hill's over here, and the door was kind of sideways, so water was going to be able to run down and probably run into the tent. And I was trying to tell him, you know, hey, you need to turn it to face away. You don't want water coming into the tent. This guy Ian pops up and he goes, you know what? He said, we're here, and I don't really think your opinion matters anymore. And I kind of looked at him like, really? Like, after I paid for you to, like, ride all the way, the rest of the way to New York? Like, this is what, you know, like, how thankful are you that you got a free ride all the way to New York, you know? And so I kind of looked at him and I said, well, you know what? Wasn't like your opinion ever mattered in the first place. And everybody kind of stopped and they looked at me, and I was not that kind of person at that time. I was usually a pretty quiet, pretty nice person about things. I really wasn't an insulting person. And I just looked at, I'd had enough of this guy. And I just looked at him and said that. And everybody goes, ooh. And he got mad. And he stood up and walked away. And everything. And that was the last I dealt with Ian. And that was kind of nice. So, from that point on, it really kind of took a nicer turn, I should say. And what happened from that point on was basically I got with my sister and her friend, and we made arrangements to take the truck back. And we drove the U-Haul truck all the way down into this little town. I think it was called Warwick, the little town of Warwick, New York. So we get all the way down inside this little town of Warwick, New York. Gorgeous town. I mean, just exactly what you would think a little upstate New York town would look like. And it wasn't but an hour outside of New York City by train. And but a really nice little town. So we get down there, turn the truck in, and then this road's bumpy. Get down there, turn the truck in, and the next thing we did was we get back in the pickup truck and we start heading back for the forest. I was going to camp with my sister and her friend in the forest for that night, and then the next day get up and take a train into New York City, and then grab an Amtrak train to go home. Well, that's not how it happened, because on the way back to the forest, my sister's friend's truck broke down, and she was driving, I think, a 95 Ford F-150, 6-cylinder, 5-speed manual, and it was a nice truck. It was purple with a gray stripe along the bottom. Look it up, purple with a gray stripe. They're gorgeous trucks. Anyway, so we get stuck in front of this pool place, this guy that sells pools, and so I can't do this. I gotta get out of here. I can't not be able to get a ride to the train station. So I'm done. I got my stuff, my bag or whatever. I'm gonna take my stuff. I'm gonna go into New York tonight. I'll just camp out in the train station and just wait it out, And so they're like, no, you can get a ride. I'm like, I'm not even gonna try. Just whatever, So I go desperate to just get done with this. I go over and I knock on the door of the guy that has the pool place, and I ask him, hey, is there any way that you can give me a ride? And we're crossing the Mississippi right now. I thought you guys would enjoy this. I love crossing the Mississippi. It's one of my favorite things to do. Anyway, so the guy goes, yeah, that's fine. I explained to him what was going on. He goes, yeah, okay, that's not a problem. So he lets me put all this stuff in his Jeep, and I hug my sister goodbye. I say, have fun. I love you, and I'll see you later. And the guy went and dropped me off at the train station. Well, the train wasn't for another 3 hours or so. And it was this neat little original train station for whatever railroad used to go through Tuxedo, New York. And so there I am, sitting waiting for the train on a bench outside the train station. I've got to buy the ticket when I get on the train. And so, the train comes along. I think it was 9:30, the train, it was
Welcome to Tennessee.
7:30, 8:30, I don't know, when the train finally popped in. And so, I get up on the train and rode the train all the way into New York City, or into Hoboken, New Jersey. That's where it went to. And then I had to ride the PATH train under the Hudson River into New York City. So I get on the PATH train, and that was let's see, where are we going here? I think we're taking this one to Jackson, Mississippi. Anyway, so I get on the train and everything, and we finally get moving along, and on the PATH train, I'm going underneath the Hudson. That's a ride. If you guys have never been on the PATH train underneath the Hudson, you got to do it. It's like a roller coaster. Giant flashes. I think I finally asked somebody, what are all the flashes? And they go, oh, rats. Okay, rats. We're killing rats. So we finally got into. I think the train I took pulled into 33rd Street. Well, it's over 13.6 high. Okay. Keep going. Maybe that's for I don't know. I saw the sign. Anyway, so we finally, we get into. The sign made me nervous. Anyway, we get into. I get into New York, 33rd Street. I get out at 33rd Street. I walk across, walk down the street a little ways, and it was like 1 block over to Penn Station. So I walk over to Penn Station and I like hunker down, get all my stuff, kind of find a seat in the waiting room, and I'm just gonna like try to sleep. I'll try to sleep the next day on the train or something like that. The train wasn't gonna leave until 2 o'clock the next day, and it's like 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock the night before. So I got more than 12 hours. And I called my grandmother from the payphone because I couldn't get cell phone service on my cell phone that I had at the time. Plus, it was an amazing amount of money to be using the cell phone outside of Texas at that time, which is 2002. And so I called my grandmother on the payphone, and she goes, "No, you have to get a hotel room. You have to get a hotel room. You have to get a hotel room." So she's like insisting I go across the street, and get a hotel room. I was like, "You need to call the hotel and get them to pay for it." And I go across the street, and she couldn't pay for it by credit card over the phone. So I had to pay for it myself, and I'm getting down to the point where I'm almost out of money. And matter of fact, I ran out of money on this trip, but it was just like by the skin of my teeth I made it. That seems to be like, a typical thing for me. It's by the skin of my teeth. But anyway, so I go across the street to the hotel, which is the only hotel that's across the street, and it's the Pennsylvania Hotel. And if you guys know anything about railroads or New York City, the Pennsylvania Hotel was originally built by the Pennsylvania Railroad, and it was to accompany the original Pennsylvania station, which was built by the Pennsylvania Railroad across the street, which was a fantastic station, and they tore it down. And Grand Central is a really nice station, but apparently Pennsylvania was better than Grand Central. And they tore down Pennsylvania and they saved Grand Central, but that was because Grand Central was saved because they tore down Pennsylvania. Anyway, so I go across the street, I get a hotel room, and I go up on the top. It was like 14th floor, 11th floor, something like that. And I get up there, and my window looks out on like another window. So there wasn't anything to see. And if I leaned over real quick like this, I could kind of see a street, maybe with some traffic going by. Anyway, so it's about 12 minutes. I'm gonna stop the story there. And basically, long story short, at that point, I got in the hotel and I got a good night's sleep. I got up the next day to catch the train, and the train is a story worthy of telling as well. So I will tell that story, the rest of it next time. But for now, that's pretty much it. So you guys keep the shiny side up. Thanks for watching.